I feel that the Vancouver Canucks offseason isn't going horribly, but there's a couple of questions that I have about their center position and what's going on there, and some trade rumors that we're certainly going to be talking about in this video. Welcome back to Pixel Plus Hockey, guys. If you could make sure to hit that subscribe button, it would be greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for all of your support. Now, the first thing that I want to talk about is Pius Suter. Now, I'm not about to say that Pius Suter is a superstar. I'm not about to say that he's even a top six guy, because of course I don't think that's true. But I do think that Pius Suter is an excellent defensive centerman in the National Hockey League. I think that he's a good Swiss Army knife. I think he's a guy that can play in your top six. Is that preferable? Of course it's not preferable. But I don't understand what happened there. The St. Louis Blues re-signed this player for about $4.1 million. I actually thought that was a reasonable contract. If you look at my past videos on Pius Suter, you'll see that I thought that he was going to get, I predicted anyway, that he was going to get $4.5 million on a multi-year deal. It's interesting, that's what the rumors and Elliot Friedman were saying too. Now, he ended up coming a bit below that, but 4.1 for a middle six center, especially with the cap going up, might I add, is actually completely fine. So I'm just a little bit surprised. I don't know exactly what happened there. Did the Canucks just not want to give him the money? Were they just very confident in Filip Chytil's health? I just think that getting that player would solidify them much better down the middle of the ice, which I think is one of the most important things, which is the center position, having a built blue line, and hopefully a stud goalie. Wingers are much easier to find, but I don't know. I just don't get that one. Now, this is going to be the question of the video. What do you guys think that the Vancouver Canucks should have done here? Should they have just re-signed Pius Suter, in my opinion, or am I incorrect and you think that maybe they should look to the trade market? Because there actually may be some very interesting names that are on the trade market that we might not actually know about, because we have really interesting information from the fourth period, and we're about to get into that right now. Quote, according to the fourth period, two teams, the Vancouver Canucks and the Utah Mammoth, have expressed interest in acquiring the Boston Bruins forward Zacha, who's still under contract for 2 more seasons. Isn't someone Boston seems eager to part with, but that hasn't stopped teams from calling. Now, I want to be clear that I actually do like Pavel Zacha a lot as a player. He's a player that's going to get you between 50 to 60 points. He has a career high of about 59 points in 78 games. He's getting paid about $4.7 million. He has size. He has defensive acumen. He is a good quality, natural centerman. And that is exactly what they need. If they had this player, they would have Elias Pettersson. They would have, Zacha and then Filip Chytil. I think that would be a really, really, really good center position for them. So maybe they see something here that they're just making calls and they can just, fix it in the trade market. Now, to be fair, though, I'm still going to hold firm that if they just signed Pius Suter, you would be able to not have to give up any assets at all. So that's probably the way that I would have gone, but perhaps the Vancouver Canucks are just confident in their center position going forward. Now, I'm going to be completely honest that I do believe that if they get Zacha, they're going to have to overpay for him. Now, I predict that the Boston Bruins are probably not going to be good again this year. I think that they're taking a step back. I think they signed a number of weird contracts. Perhaps Boston is actually looking for a slow retool or rebuild, and that's why they might consider moving this player. Perhaps they just want another team to overpay because there's just not a lot of centers around. It could be either one of those things. I mean, here's my prediction for the rest of the off season. For the next 2.5 months for the Vancouver Canucks, I think that they're going to have to make probably 2, if not 3 trades to shore up their roster, because there's a couple of holes here, but perhaps they just go into the season thinking, hey, we're going to be patient and we're just going to make slow moves. We don't have to make a move, and then perhaps they'll do something at the trade deadline. And that's going to lead me into my next opinion, or around the Vancouver Canucks goaltending, because that is the other move that I think that they have to make. We have a really interesting quote from the Vancouver Canucks general manager here. Quote, Artie is a young and extremely good goalie. He was just MVP in the American League playoffs. Outstanding. He's played at the highest stage for Latvia and will be on their Olympic roster. We'll see over the next couple of weeks if we carry the goalies to camp or if a decision is made prior. So to me, this sounds like Alvin I can't imagine they're going to carry 3 goalies. I think that they are absolutely going to trade him for sure, and I'm interested to see what they can manage to get from Seelovs. Now, his numbers in the NHL right now have not been that good. He's got about an .880 save percentage in a small sample size, about 19 games, I think. But he's been quite good in the American Hockey League. I wonder if a desperate team like Edmonton or something like that that really needs goaltending might look at a goalie and say, hey, we'll take a flyer on them because they need more goaltending depth. Now, is Seelovs going to solve their position? Of course not. Is he any better than Picard? He might be, maybe down the road. I wouldn't really say that he is right now, but you might be able to get more assets than you think for him, and perhaps you could flip those assets into helping you get a centerman or more forward depth or something like that. I guess you can understand from my perspective how I am just genuinely really worried about that the Canucks are going to give up too much for a center. I'm just super interested to what happened with Pius Suter. Like, how could they not get him re-signed at that number? I would have given 3 years at 4.1 to beat out the St. Louis Blues, in my opinion. Like, I understand it might be a overpayment for a center, but yeah, I'm willing to overpay for centers in the National Hockey League right now. Anyways, I am going to leave this video here. If you could make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, I would greatly appreciate it, guys. And make sure to have a great day. Goodbye, guys.